Good afternoon. Excited to come before you. Some disclaimers as we start. Usually when we get to come before the board, start the process. This is the start of the process. We understand all of the budget issues that are coming towards us from the governor, from the General Assembly, throughout. Well, this year we have to do a lot of estimating. We know what the governor has, the previous governor proposed, what the new governor has amended, what the General Assembly has in point right now, that as we continually talk with our legislators and people from the Department of Ed, we're very confident in most of the numbers we are presenting. The exciting piece here is, for me, is I could say, here's what we need, but then we've got to whittle it down somewhat at times, or whatever we get, or how do we get it? Because once we introduce it, then it's our staff's responsibility to try to make sure this all works and to give the board the best information possible as we know it day by day. And that's what this is about. And we are in the time frame of from this point, from 1 month, on the 25th of February, we will be voting on this. And so our opportunity is to show what we would like to obtain and how can we get there. The other thing is, many times, since I've been here especially, many times, I think there's three parts of the prong here, and it's the state, what are they going to give, the county, and then what are we asking for? And a lot of times it's almost us against them. And that's not what we're trying to do here today. My responsibility is, as you'll see in code, but the county has gone far and beyond, and you'll see this, and I'm going to speak about it, in helping our school district since I've been here. They have gone far and beyond the call of duty, I think, in some things. What happened before me, I have no idea. But I can tell you, we talk with them regularly. Dr. Casey and Matt Harris are very reachable. I know our team talks with their finance team all the time. And I think we've had a lot more conversations with your counterparts as well, and trying to make sure that we can step in the right direction as we move forward. So the things that we're asking for today, we're not pointing any fingers. We're not doing anything of saying, here's where we are, and it's superintendent's responsibility after we present and his team to make sure we get as close as we can to this. So the meeting, our needs, we're going to talk about workforce investment. We're going to talk about the investment of student needs and investment of infrastructure. And our discussion today will be looking at, first of all, Study 1, Phase 2, which are the teachers. And then we will be sharing our thoughts on Study 2, Phase 1. And again, a disclaimer, we do not have the final document at this time, but through our finance and HR teams, they have come up with some estimated numbers. Okay. So, and we did not want to come to the board and say, well, we have part of a budget proposed. That's not what we can do here. We have to come ready to roll. So, we know that investment of our students, that our division is growing. The estimation of a forecast of 1,500 additional students require the staff. We know, and the state has recognized that. We understand that our projected ESL population will continue to grow and that needs additional staff. And we are opening up a new school of roughly 900 students, which will need additional staff. Some other investment pieces, and I bring some of this up because we know that if you pay staff the appropriate salary, you can solve the problems. And the example here is when we looked at substitute pay. We went from a 63 to 64% fill rate to an 85% fill rate by adjusting it. We know that when we worked with the county, we give them all the credit on this. We had a need. We threw the flag up, please help, and they came to the rescue. And we had funding for bus drivers, and I don't think you get many calls on bus drivers. Now, it's not perfect, but I know that they are still adding more drivers as we speak. And it's real an easy case. If you have the drivers, kids get to school on time. And that's what's happening. So we're excited about that opportunity. We're looking at stipends for hard-to-fill schools. We're looking at, needs-based funding adjustment and, national board certified teachers. And that last piece was a promise that was made, it was not kept, and we brought it back to make sure we assured that promise. We want to continue to catch up on building maintenance. And, I don't think many people know that. I know Mr. Davis did a report to you just recently, but a lot of people in our community don't realize the support that the county gave us on our maintenance efforts, and that they will see a lot of that work last summer, but this summer a lot of work is being done as well, and there's a plan over the next 3 to 5 years to complete with that funding. But the county did do a great job with that and stepped up in their service. But we have to meet the rising costs. Everyone in this room is facing the issue of rising costs. School systems are no different. We're looking at starting the building of 2 new middle schools. And then we're looking at a CIP project as well. So again, you see this all the time, our vision, our mission, and our goals. They have not changed since I've been here. And we want to look at our enrollment because our 2021-22 enrollment is back to pre-COVID levels. We're one of the few divisions that are growing. As I said earlier, forecast by the state is 1,500. That's where the funding mechanism comes from. And we know that the overall enrollment is going to continue to grow due to the housing development that's occurring throughout our division. So this is just a chart of where we are and where we're going to be over the next 2 years as we show the actual count, the pre-K count, the projections. And the projection for next year is for us to be well over 6,400 students, 64,000 students, 64,000 students. If I would not be far off to say we could eventually at next year sometime be at 65,000 as we continue to grow every day. So our population, as I just continue, we are a minority-majority school division, and our Hispanic population and our ESL population is growing, and you will see that in the state's funding of our school system and our documentation. So as I stated, as of January 10th, we were at 63,222 students. One point of note, which I think surprises people at times, is our number of students that are on free and reduced lunch, that it's grown 35% in 10 years. That makes our free and reduced lunch population larger than 119 school divisions in the state, just our free and reduced lunch population. We know that our English language learners has grown 157% in the last 10 years, and our special ed services has increased at least 15%, and that will continue to increase as well. Things we're really proud of, when you're a large school district, moving the needle in numbers, but since, as you see, our graduation rate is 92.3, it was about 90.7 2 years ago. I think our people are working really hard to make sure our kids get to the finish line. Our dropout rate, which is 5.6, the goal was this year to be under 5 because of our outreach efforts for our children. It was almost at 7% 2 years ago. So in the course of over 2 years, I think our people are working really hard to make sure our kids get to the finish line, and that's our goal. Our Chesterfield County Public School staff consistently win state honors, and it's amazing what the example in the fourth bullet where our finance department, business department keep winning awards for outstanding budgets. We have 8 national, they really used to be Title I distinguished schools. Now they're EA distinguished schools, which is very, very powerful. That means we're meeting the needs of students. But I think people sometimes forget just the quality that we have with 7 new Blue Ribbon schools, 7 middle schools to watch, 100% accreditation. We're still accredited. and we understand the challenges that we have to try to be accredited. People say, well, how is that important? Well, it's important because we're working to make sure our students are successful academically. That's the key. What is a movement that we have for proficiency? We have increased support in special education as well as ESL. We have differentiated our support in schools with funding and staff. And we continue to collaborate with the county on the studies. And that phase one study last year truly helped us to maintain staff that we have this year with decompression. And I thank them greatly for that. So we're ongoing challenges. And, if you don't invest, can't expect better outcomes. And we know that this spring we are working hard with tutoring and after-school programming and daytime pullouts. And the secondary, we're tutoring in 28 different courses to help students meet them where they are, where their needs are. In our summer program, we will continue to have a robust summer program with K-12, with transportation, as well as look at other enrichment opportunity camps, our CTE camps, our STEM camps, art camps, music camps. We will continue to push those opportunities, and we think they're going to be larger than they were this past year. We continue to help our students and support them with, we have a growing ESL population of multiple languages that we must continue to work with, our special education, and meeting the needs of our IEPs. And let's never forget, and this is probably number one, student health and wellness, as well as staff health and wellness, and making sure that we have the support staff and continue to get the support staff that we need for our students and staff. We'll make sure we have high-quality teachers. That's extremely important for us, have high-quality teachers for us in the classrooms, continue to recruit, and also continue to retain. The key there is retain our staff as we look at salary schedules. And people may say, well, you shouldn't compare yourself in hiring and salaries to other school divisions. Well, we have to because they hire. If you're hiring a teacher, we need to compare our salaries to you, if we like it or not. And just in Region 1, we have 13 other school divisions. We have to make sure what is going on in each of the school division salaries, because they will hire the people that we need. And make sure we have differentiated support not only for staffing needs, but also for funding needs in our schools to help our students. So, we know there's a national teacher shortage. It's interesting that Virginia, there was a statement that was made about a year ago that Virginia doesn't hire enough teachers to fill the vacancies in Fairfax. And so we were looking at the numbers and looking at what has to happen in Virginia. But the other categories, we forget that we have over 11,000 employees, full-time and part-time. And when you think about, there are more non-teachers than teachers that work in the system that, under the certifications, that multiple things that help the school system run. And we desperately need to fix their salaries. We just lost someone Friday who was in our schools that went to work for a business firm because they were become a secretary and make more money as a secretary than as a teacher. We've lost 20% of our district directors in our system because of salaries. We do not have a problem of having people apply and wanting to work in the system. It's once we share with them the salary structure that it's a problem. And that's what Salary Study 2 helps us with. We're required to make sure we're in compliance with state and federal laws and make sure that, we have general ed teachers, resource teachers, resource with ESL and special ed teachers, counselors, nurses, support positions, teacher salaries, on and on. There is a great number of issues that we have to balance in our school system. We are the largest employer in the region, and we can't forget it. And our efforts affect 350,000 residents of Chesterfield. If we're doing well and if we are helping our students grow, businesses see that, community sees that, people want to live here, people want to move their businesses here because we have qualified workers and students that can help them down the road. And where we are training people for their next 40 to 50 years of life of work when they leave us, no matter if they go to college or go right into the workforce. You've seen this before where Virginia doesn't rank very high in teacher pay. It's in the middle of the road. The numbers speak for itself with the below the average. And the key for us is how do we make sure that we are helping our people who are looking for a job come here and stay here. And that's what our budget's trying to do. So building the budget, this is the code, and the code basically says, I am to present to you a needs-based budget, and then we will work very hard together, and then work in collaboration with the county and with the state to make these things happen. And where we need to adjust, we will adjust to make sure that we have a budget that we can go back to our 11,000 employees and say, we worked hard for you. The governor, Northam, before he left, the previous governor, put a lot of money in education. And let's be honest, they had a lot of money. $16 billion is a lot of money. So they had money to give to the schools. This was 11.5% increase to our budget from the state. It does come with some guidelines, which I'll share in a minute. Plus, they added $22 million in construction grant money that the details aren't out yet, but once they pass the budget and if it stays in, we'll have details for this. And the proposal had additional funding in it for not only teacher pay, but at-risk students, allocations, ESL learners, and et cetera. And Governor Youngkin did not adjust that. He kept that budget there. He added some amendments to the budget, but the overall point is that we were very comfortable of where we were. The LCI, some people would like to talk about this. 2 years ago, we lost money in this. Now, you would think, okay, we had an increase of 1.2 million, but that just means we just flatlined. And so we still didn't gain a great deal out of this because they consider us a wealthier county. So where do we stack? So right now we have a $761 million operational budget for this year. We have 11,000 employees, 70 plus buildings. We travel 9 million miles, or 6 million meals, and we've got a lot of computers, as we found out during the pandemic. Now, I want to do a clarification here because when we share this information, it is usually a year behind. That's the way it's always been because the Department of Education doesn't get it out. They're always a year behind. But we do realize that everyone keeps moving, and so these are the guidelines. It's okay for us when we look at the administrative piece and other things that we're not up in the top. We're okay in that area. We'd like to be further than where we are. The operational piece, you can see that information. The regular day, this is where we stand right now. And the overall local contribution, this is where we are. Now, these numbers look one way, and but sometimes they don't tie in other things that happen between counties and school divisions. And I'm going to share some other things with you on this. So a needs-based budget, and as I will have come repetitive several times so some things sink in to the community that hears this and also to the board. But to make sure that we understand that what we're looking at is our operational funds, that we have state guidelines and requirements, that we have the expectations of our community to be a great school division, that we look at student enrollment, we have a diverse learning group, our teachers, and then the alignments of staffs. So right now you would see this budget and you would see the $15 million given to us for this year from the county, the $37.9 million from the state, which puts us at 61 million in additional funding. And so when you look at this, you're saying, okay, we have increased our budget. But what we also want to realize is that there are guidelines to this, and also additional funding that we have to look at to try to find ways to match. So as a state proposal, we see that 10 million of the funding, just about 10 million of it, goes to the ADM increase of student enrollment and additional ESL and regular staff. That we see that the 5% increase is $13.6 million, which requires $13.6 million on our end to match that funding. And so when you think about that number, that's $27.2 million, that right off the bat, we're looking at that salary increase. The sales tax issue projected, the at-risk funding has qualifiers, and then the adjustments for us with the rebenchmarking. That was a $46 million. So I want to show you this slide because it's we're saying that what we're going to propose and what I'm going to show you, we want to, up front, is that we're looking to find a way to get almost $24 million more dollars into our budget. And I'll explain that in a minute. But I highlighted the SRP because you see a negative there, and for people listening and seeing this, this is a very positive point. And the county came through and said, we want to help you with this. And so they put in $27 million to clean this up. Remember, this was a very sore spot several years ago before I got here. And it's been cleaned up. And so taking this funding, as you'll see, as now a negative, it's not something against us, it's a positive. And that funding now that we would spend that $10 million plus on will go into some debt service and some other areas. So this was a very big win, great collaborative effort on the county side and the school system side. So we break it down here and show you the investment of just around $60 million for workforce investment, $21 million for our students, $12 million for the infrastructure, and the rising cost is $3 million. And we did notice here, as I point to this, that doesn't make any sense, I'm pointing to the screen, that the SRP was $11 million off our books. And I don't know any other county that would have done that for their school division, so really give them a lot of credit and thank them for that. The opportunities that we have compensation. So we know last year we were working with the county and we worked on study one, and we got the numbers, and they said it's a 3-year study and that's funded over 3 years. We all agreed to that, and we started with phase one. And I will say this, without the phase one last year, I don't know how many teachers we would have had here, because that was a game breaker for a lot of people. And we made a promise. And my budget to you is the promise I made to all 11,000 of our employees that I made. And so that's why you're seeing these numbers. The second opportunity, a salary study for the rest of our employees, started in October. They've been meeting regularly. It's just weekly. And very shortly we'll have some of the final numbers. And then we can really tell people, this is the percent you're getting in the salary raise. We know salary study one had it all lined up for year two of the phase. So that alignment's there, also with the percentage of the 5% with the governor. But the second study is still being worked out. And so we talked about the compensation, increased market value. We're actually getting rid of the problem of compression again with everybody else. We tackled the teachers. Now we're tackling this side here, which it's extremely needed at this time. So in salary one, we talked about the starting teacher pay. We looked at the gaps around us, the 35-year career of a teacher, just everything that the salary study would address. I thought they did a really good job with the study, and I think our HR department and our business and payroll people did a great job of getting that information out, making sure people truly understood. And they would do the exact same thing with everyone else. So we know what year one looked at. We know what year two will look at. This is not really that complicated because it's already mapped out for year one, year two, and year three in the study and the recommendations from them. And we do expect similar information for year one and year two with the next study. There's a lot of words, but the issue is here. The study is going to show that we are behind in pay and that we need to do something now. And the opportunity for us to look at this over a 3-year period, similar to what we're doing with the teachers, but we need to do something now. We need to tackle that compression issue now And we know that it's going to affect a lot of people in our school district, a lot of people in our school division. So the price tag, when you think about the salary structure of one, you have to take $27 million off of that right now, and then the rest of that deals with the study that was in place. Study 2, phase 1, is $23.5 million. That is a best guess estimate right now. If it goes down, we will reduce it. But the opportunity is for us to say we have a placeholder here, and this was it took a lot of. We just didn't say let's put a number up here. This is a number that they looked at with the discussions they've had with the consultant. So when you think about the $21 million for our student needs, this will always be an issue for us. We're growing. We're going to continue to grow. We are excited that we were in a re-benchmarking and how we benefited from this for our schools. When you think about the ESL and special ed growth opening, not only this school, but down the road, hopefully we'll be opening other schools, and we have a similar format that we follow. But then additional support, and when you think about, just think about helping our staff when we have substitutes in our buildings, making sure we have them covered. Or the hard-to-fill schools that it may be hard to get a teacher at that school, and how do we give an incentive for that and make sure that we have an investment. And we will, and as we promised, we will continue to invest in summer school. And just to realize, the state provides some certain amount of funding that we have to use first, then we can use our ESSER after we use that. But it's still money that they give us that we have to place in our budget to push the summer schools. So when you see student growth, 9.7 million, ESL, 2.3 million of growth. And you have to remember, this is support for ESL in our schools as well as additional staff. Mosley, it's about $1 million to open it up. And then you see our summer school program, 2.3. Now this is an increase of funding. So it's not just 2.3 we're offering, this increase of funding that we already have. So remember our summer school last year, and Bob will correct me on this, I thought it was a little over I thought it was like 4.8 million. It was a little around there, but I could be off a little bit. And then our children's services. So these are non-discretionary issues because this money is designated out. Our mental health specialist, our Region 1 tuition increases, our substitute rate update, and our school-based funding allocation. We had promised them that we would continue to move on a 3% movement on that for them. Our stipend for our hard-to-staff schools, and we've done research on that, and we'll be sharing that as we present the budget throughout the schools that would qualify for that. It's a pilot, so let's remember we're going to see if it works. We're not trying to, but we're going to take the hardest schools and help them there. And then the National Board Certified Teacher match as well for our people who complete that outstanding accomplishment. And our CIS, we're expanding with them and our partnership with them. And they are raising their side of the funds, and then it goes into Bensley and the community there. As we well know, CIS does a wonderful job with not only our families, but our students and our families and the community members. So the infrastructure investment, we're increasing around $4 million. Again, when we show numbers, people think that's all we're giving. No, we're increasing to make sure that our contracts for HVAC, nobody complains about or knows about HVAC until they don't work. It's too cold, it's too hot, something's happening in air quality. No, let's make sure we keep up the contract. And when you think about maintenance efforts, as not only our pay-go, but the investment into, replacing some vehicles for the maintenance guys who they have been in a decade, and some of them have been longer than that. There's some replacements need to be. It's not a lot of money. Furniture replacement. When you think about starting the painting program and carpeting program that hasn't been in place here for decades, where we put all the schools on a rotating basis of looking at this and how do we work with the schools in that area. So increasing custodial contract, HVAC, utilities, not going to get over that, they're going up. Our debt service and our growth management of the trailers expansion, this will go away after we start if we pass our CIP and we start working with our CIP. Vehicle replacement, as I stated, and this is our furniture replacement in some aging schools. And just we worked with the county for one-time funding, and I really appreciate them giving us some of the money back, and we're replacing all of our science tables in our middle school, high schools right now. And at the end of the school year, we're looking at replacing all of our middle school science tables. They've been around a while and they get beat up, and so we're looking to upgrade all of our science equipment, our science tables. The PM services for maintenance and for the painting and flooring program to start a project and start to get us moving. And our pay-go is $500,000 for major maintenance. So we also have some issues where the projected healthcare interest is increased, and the leave payout has a slight increase. Zero on our transfers right now. That occurs every 2 years, and then the workman's comp risk management is at $32,000. And then these are just some other items where we're looking at HR staff adjustments, looking at software, looking at our clinic facilitator, just some other things that are in the program as well. SRP, so as again, I talked about this, really complimenting the county on this and thanking them. But this money then helps, when you think about the SRP now, we're in really good shape with it, and we can move forward and take that money and put it some other places that will be beneficial for the school division. So there's things that are unfunded, and we place some things into the ESSER fund. We know that we'll eventually be moving out. We know that there's additional maintenance. There's always going to be things that have to be added. The list will never run dry. But what I'm presenting to you are the things that are the most urgent at this time. As I said, the proposed budget deficit is almost $24 million. We know that some of that money will come from the state. We've never had, since I've been here, the money that was started in the budget where it ended up did not increase. So we think that will continue. But we will, if we have to, we will look at other issues and other methods to try to solve the problem. Because the most important thing for us right now is making sure that we pay our staff. We pay our staff. But that was me. I started checking. And we know the county, and we have $15 million from them assured. I put it on there. It's about a 5% increase. However, this does not fully fund the budget proposal, and as such, CCPS will be investigating additional state and our local funding opportunities. And we just like people to know that we're not here, strong-arming people or telling people, we're saying, I'm giving you a budget that we think we need. If you realize and recognize the funding shortage is the second study. And so we may have to maneuver some things around, but the salaries for our staff, both 1 and 2, are extremely important for our success. Just some CIP quickly for you. So working with the county, and we've had many meetings on this, and there'll still be meetings where we look at 5 new or rebuild elementaries, 3 new or rebuild middle schools, and 1 new high school with a possible 1 high school addition. I think the opportunity, they came up with a great idea with the BPSA, working with Bob and his team. I thought that was really something really outside the box thinking and helping us. Well, and so the 2 middle schools discussed will most likely not be in the bond referendum as we go in November. But I think there's a lot of discussion still to occur, working with them. We're a partner with them in this, and just like we are with our budget. And there's been very good discussion on this, and also with the opportunities of what land where do we put the schools to make sure we don't have bottlenecks and everything else. This is just a sample of the bundles look like. You could almost take bundle 1 away in one sense and put it over in the out of the bond referendum. But I think there'll be a lot more discussion on what we have on this page. And so I don't want people to get locked into saying, well, this is here and this is here, knowing that within the next 5 to 6 years, we could have opportunity of having 10 schools that are new or rebuilt. And that's the key, is that we understand it's not a short-term vision, it's a vision, and hopefully we can manage the growth till that time. This is just a chart of capacity and how things move in our district. That We do need the facilities. And I will say this, as we build new schools, and when we build the new middle schools, we will look at redistricting. When we build the new elementaries, we'll look to redistrict. And when we build a new high school, we'll look to redistrict. And we'll give 1 year notice on that to the board, we'll present to the board 1 year ahead of time. This is funding sources that we know of as we're looking with VPSA. There's 130 for the middle schools, and then the opportunity FY 20 in the 21 we had $5 million. Referendum will be about 320, and so we're looking at that state money as well. We don't know what the guidelines are for the state funding yet, but if it does get approved, and there was conversation of adding additional funding to this, it's like $500 million, and there was discussion of moving that up. So we'll see. So what's next for us? We'll be in this room on the 1st, the 8th, and the 16th, streaming, talking about our budget work sessions. We have a public hearing on the 8th here, and then we have everything online, and you can contact us if you have questions. We will get our people on any question you have. And then we have town hall meetings, and Bob and I will be divided on that. I think Joe and Bob are going to be at some locations, and Sean and I will be at some other locations because we have 3 dates where we have multiple sessions, but we will make sure the same things discussed each time. And again, workforce, infrastructure, student growth, and that is my presentation. I'll be going to